4 seconds from one heartbreak to the next.
It was so shocking. I watched both of them dying at the same time.
Ada Blaker could only watch her only 2 sons, Dylan Jimenez and Brian Richardson, killed one after another on August 6th.
It's like my heart has been ripped from my chest, and all in a matter of minutes.
Orange County Sheriff's deputies say this man, Rafael Villaverde, shot and killed Dylan after an argument at the Heritage Hotel where they lived.
I looked down at Dylan, and he smiled at me, and I told Dylan, please don't leave me. Don't leave me. I love you. Please don't leave me. And I could see the life coming out of him like he was dying.
Deputies arrived shortly after. Things went from bad to worse. With the alleged gunman still at large, Brian kept his gun in hand as responders tended to his brother.
I think Brian was very scared, very nervous.
But this, moments later.
Open his airway.
He has a gun in his hand pointing at people. No, stop.
Drop it. Go.
Family attorney Mark James says he believes the shooting was not justified.
The deputy would not have shot the second brother, who was really there simply protecting himself and his family because he saw his brother had been gunned down.
It's tragic. I'm glad I wasn't put in this situation. All right. I'm glad I wasn't.
John Gasper, a retired detective and use of force expert, says while tragic, he believes the deputies had no choice.
First verbal command 228.
Drop it. Go.
232, 4 seconds.
So I'm going to do something. That's a fraction of a second it would take for the officer to be taken down in this circumstance.
Gasper believes 3 things may come into play in the ongoing FDLE investigation. The deputy's lack of a chance to find cover in the seconds-long encounter, the original shooting victim still being nearby, and the other innocent bystanders still in the area.
Unfortunate, bad, perfect storm that created the death of somebody, that was an innocent but did all the things that created the use of deadly physical force.
Ada says she doesn't see this as a perfect storm at all and argues 4 seconds simply was not enough time for her son to react safely.
Like if somebody yells at you and says somebody's pointing a gun, wouldn't you look first and see if that person is actually pointing a gun? Why would you just start firing? I don't want another grieving mother. I don't want someone else having to feel what I feel every single day, or having to deal with the pain that I physically have, and how much I hurt, and how much I miss my boys.
Villaverde was originally charged for the deaths of both brothers initially. For now, he's only charged with second-degree murder for allegedly shooting Jimenez. The FDLE is continuing to investigate the deputy-involved shooting. Reporting in Orlando, Tony Atkins, West 2 News. From the basketball hoops to the bikes left roadside, no doubt this neighborhood tells the story of a place where kids spend a lot of time outside. Today, the streets are quiet after days of tension.
She took someone's kid's mom away. She didn't just kill someone, she killed someone's mom.
Megan Stevens is talking about her neighbor from across the street, Susan Lawrence, who's now charged with shooting her neighbor from next door, Ajika Owens, or AJ for short. Parents here say all the kids play outside together, many of them black or mixed. They say Lawrence would often call them slurs before things escalated.
Calling them the N-word, hard R, whatever, stuff that.
This memorial right here is the result of what happened in this field. Now, people in this neighborhood say this field is where kids like to play. You can see why, because it has so much space, and this is where all the children in the area would come and play. Now, they say that Lawrence really had an issue with kids playing near her home. It eventually escalated, and Owens came over from her house across the street to confront Lawrence, and that's when deputies say she shot through her front door, killing Owens.
And I heard a bang on my door so loud that my windows were shaking. And I came outside and her son was literally gasping for air, telling me that his mother had been shot by the lady across the street.
You said you knew who that was?
I knew who it was immediately.
Phyllis Willis says these moments were heart-wrenching, seeing her friend and neighbor dead across the street. Her message to the woman accused of shooting AJ was simple.
I hope she rots in hell.
In Marion County, Tony Atkins, West 2 News. It's about 2 on a Thursday afternoon in Melbourne. In the Holgrave home, it's time for Cheryl to take her medicine.
And this is 1 week.
Her husband, Ron, meticulously sorting out a week's worth of meds for his wife. Since 2016, this has been the norm for the couple.
Actually, I'm going to need another one of these.
Now, he picked up these skills watching Cheryl take care of her mother, Cherie, who also battled Alzheimer's.
Caregivers with Alzheimer's, they're totally blindsided. They have no idea what's going on, what do I do next. I saw caregiving, top-notch, excellent caregiving modeled in front of me for 8.5 years.
Now, Cheryl is on the other side of treatment, remembering how a spirit of happiness helped her mom navigate through those tough times.
Laughter was something just her way of being happy. I called her my happy girl.
Cheryl was diagnosed just months after Cherie died in 2016. And in the years to follow, she saw her cognitive abilities decline from a normal mental examination score of 26 to a 15, which is moderate cognitive impairment.
I want to do more things than I used to do and stuff. I want to get back to cooking.
The couple desperate for treatment, but rejected for clinical trials over and over again. And finally, after their third and final rejection, some hope.
The recruiter called and said, we have another one that I think you qualify for. It's 70 miles away, and you have to be there at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning.
Last May, Cheryl signed on for TB006, an antibody-based therapy that blocks toxic proteins that could build up in your brain. The study done by California-based biotherapeutic company True Binding has just 157 patients, with 19 of those patients treated here at Conquest Research in Winter Park.
This particular medicine is going after the glue that makes a lot of those toxic proteins in our brain, and it's also looking to decrease the inflammation and keep your brain cells happy.
Dr. Melissa Agar does Cheryl's monthly infusions. She says the treatment has not only stopped the cognitive decline, but now Cheryl's cognitive abilities and score are slowly improving.
She's a little more conversational. She can tell you a little bit more about what she's been doing since she was last here compared to when she's coming back. In fact, last visit she talked about her recent trip and how it was a great trip because she felt more confident doing things on her own.
Cheryl says that even if her cognitive abilities just stabilize, that's a win.
With having this medicine, it seems like to me that I could handle this if I only stayed at this stage.
And while that drive in the journey could be tough, Cheryl is small but mighty, willing to do whatever it takes to help herself and others in the future. What would your mother say to you about the way you've handled this trial?
She would want me to do this because of what she went through. I'm for doing whatever I can to help the future with people with Alzheimer's.
Ron, inspired by his wife's persistence, is with her every step of the way, doing everything he can to help her help others.
She has said it, her words, there may not be help out there for me. I'm the third generation in my family. I want me to be the last. Those are her words.
Go ahead and stop there.
Students at work. Friday morning was a busy one as 4 groups of teens put the finishing touches on their own video games.
And this is the demo version, which was made in 48 hours.
A role-playing game, a first-person shooter, a platformer, as well as a mobile game, all made from scratch at Electronic Arts this week. The masterminds, not the people behind the Madden or PGA games. No, these were all made by high school teenage girls and non-binary students as part of EA's Get in the Game coding camp.
We're pretty much done. We actually published it last night, and Sarah's been having her friends kind of play around with it.
The space important for many reasons, giving the students a reminder that they too are represented in tech.
There was something very special about being able to go to school or be in a situation where you feel like you don't have a problem speaking out or asking a question.
There's a ghost. It's a spike.
And they represent well the game's challenging and addictive. Oh no. But also rewarding. The camp ended with each participant, all from local schools, guaranteed for an interview to intern at EA.
It was super exciting because you were surrounded by people who you don't typically see.
Rachel did this program in 2019 as a high school student, and as she prepares to graduate college next May, she's now one of 2 people from the program to get a full-time job offer.
I wasn't expecting it. I was really excited. A recruiter reached out to me and was like, "We have an offer we want to make with you," and I was like, "Yes."
During the program's graduation ceremony, the students' parents and coaches looked on with pride, happy to see these students get in the game, diversifying tech at a very high level. In Orlando, Tony Atkins, West 2 News.